Well, let's take a look at absolute value inequalities. Write down the formulas first. So our absolute value inequalities. Now there's two cases of this. Case one is where you have the absolute value of something is less than something else. If it's in that form, then you can plug it into this formula. Now instead of lessons, if these are less than or equal to's, line underneath, then these will be less than or equal to's, line underneath. And we have our second case. If the absolute value is greater than something, then you're going to have P is less than negative Q, or P is greater than Q. Now that or does not mean you can choose one or the other. You have to have both of these, and then you solve both of them down separately. So let's look at our examples. The absolute value of 4x minus 1 is less than 3. Now you have to have the absolute value by itself on the left side, which it is. There's no numbers in front of it, no numbers after it. So here's a less than symbol, so this is going to be case 1. And what's inside the parentheses will be our P, and the other side is our Q. And our formula says negative Q is less than P is less than Q. So now everywhere we have a P, we'll plug in 4x minus 1, and everywhere we have a Q, we'll plug in 3. So this becomes negative 3 is less than 4x minus 1 is less than 3. Now we want to solve this. We want to get x by itself in the middle. So I'm going to take this negative 1, and I'm going to move it over the other two sides. When you move them over the other two sides, the sign of it changes. The negative 1 becomes a positive 1. Negative 3 plus 1 gives us negative 2. 3 plus 1 gives us 4. And again, our goal is to get the x by itself, so we're going to divide everything by 4. So divide negative 2 by 4, divide the 4x by 4, and the 4 by 4. So that gives us, reduces, 2 and 4 both divisible by 2. So that gives us negative 1/2. Those 4's cancel, gives us x. And here 4 divided by 4 is 1. And that's our answer. Let's look at our next example. Absolute value of 5x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 4. Now the absolute value is by itself on the left side, no numbers in front of it, no numbers after it. And this is a greater than or equal to formula, so it'll match our case 2, the greater than. This is what our formula is going to be, except we're going to have the line underneath these. Excuse me. That's P and that's Q. So our formula will be P is less than or equal to negative Q, or P is greater than or equal to positive Q. Now again, that does not mean that you can choose one or the other. You have to do both sides. So we'll put the 5x plus 2 in for P. So we got 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 4, or 5x plus 2 is greater than or equal to positive 4. Now solve each one of these separately. So I'm going to take the 2, move it to the right side. So I get 5x is less than or equal to negative 4 minus 2. This is linear inequalities, so you just solve each of these, follow no steps. Negative 4, negative 2 is negative 6. Divide both sides by 5. Those negative 5's, or negative, those 5's will cancel. And that gives us x is less than or equal to negative 6/5. Now we'll do the same thing over here. So I'll take the 2 and move it over across the inequality symbol. So that gives us 5x is greater than or equal to 4 minus 2. Combine together the numbers at any step. 4 minus 2 is 2. And now divide both sides by 5. Those 5's cancel. And we got x is greater than or equal to 2/5. And there's an or between this. You have to have that or there. I don't know, for purposes of my test, I don't care where you put it. If you put it anywhere in here, I'm happy. If you do not put it anywhere, I'll take points off. Out of 10 points, I'll take 4 points off because it's a pretty important piece. Whether you have an or and here, it's very different results. But anyway, this would be your answer. If you want to write in interval notation, that's fine, but I'm happy right there.